for the interview.
It's been a long day.
All right. What were you going to say?
So the walk was interesting. I think that the meeting tonight felt very subversive.
In what way?
So we get to talk to Alexia, who's sort of a battle-hardened, veteran.
It's a total badass.
She is definitely a total badass. But just sort of the recognition that what we are seeing now is not in the spectrum of normal. And that's, we sort of, I think we've had a lot of recognition on this trip and, before, and everything of what is normal is not acceptable. It's not just, it's not moral. But what we are seeing now is a whole nother level. And that's, something maybe we knew, but having coming from her, where she's been doing this for 40 years, felt different.
This being immigration advocacy.
Yeah, this is she specifically has been working with, with immigration advocacy in a whole wide variety of different ways, and working with different administrations, and working with the courts, and working in a huge variety of roles, for decades. She's seen everything, and
Last day. This has been a really good, really interesting, very educational, enlightening, powerful seminar, trip, adventure, whatever you want to call it. And it's been nice to have Tim join me for these last couple of days. But it's good to be going home tomorrow. I miss my kids. I miss my cats and my dog. I miss my congregation. So it'll just be really good to get home after all of this and begin really processing things. Today, on this last day, we spent the day in Los Angeles. We met with folks who are doing immigration advocacy for asylum seekers here in LA. Just because of the proximity to the U.S.-Mexico border, there are a lot of asylum seekers that wind up in Los Angeles. We did a prayer walk where we stopped in front of some of the local courts and the detention center where folks are held. We met with a woman who had been in that detention center as of, I think, only just a couple of weeks ago. She got out. She had been trafficked from Russia. 3 weeks. Tim is waving at me. She'd been trafficked from Russia, promised papers, and wound up working for this guy who was abusive, had her doing illegal work, and then he and she and one other person were arrested because of the nature of the fraudulent stuff he was doing that she didn't realize was wrong. She said she knew that not everything was genuine, but that's how they do things in Russia, so it didn't seem unusual to her at all. And she wound up spending years in jail. It's just trauma upon trauma. And now she's working with others. She's self-taught, just working with others, learn Spanish so that she can help other asylum seekers find asylum. And she's now in the process of making that happen for her here in the U.S. While we were there, a guy ran up to us, and because he heard us talking and praying, and he said, "Hey, you guys, I just got out of here. They just finally let me out, and I can stay." And then someone in the group let him use a phone to call for a ride. But it was neat to be there with his joy and to celebrate with him too. I've gotten to celebrate with people coming out of jail before, but not in that kind of situation. That was a whole new release scenario for me. So that was a really powerful walk. We spent some time in prayer in front of the federal building, and mourned for our sisters and brothers who are fleeing for their lives. Yeah. Like Tim mentioned, we got to participate in this great panel this evening with there were a couple of asylum seekers as well as part of their support system here in the U.S. Families that they're staying with, people who are helping them connect in the community, finding them safe place, and then Alexia, who has been doing this advocacy work for so long and is just a pretty cool lady. We've met some really great, faithful, powerful Christian people that I have a lot of respect for. And so this has all been good. Like I said, I'll still be processing for a while, but I'm glad that I did this. Initially, I was wanting to go on the Hong Kong, Philippines peacemaking trip, and that got canceled because of the COVID-19 coronavirus. And next year, it's going to be happening during the time of my Doctorate of Ministry courses, so that one is clearly not meant to be. I'm glad that I was a part of this, both the Central America and the southern border pieces. And I feel like this is gonna bring me some really relevant stories and experience and information to the conversation in my own space. So this is the last daily update. Trip's over. Tomorrow we're just flying, fly. And then we get home and hug the kids and hug the dog and pass out. And then Wednesday morning I'm back to teaching at the jail and making hospital visits and writing a sermon, which will probably talk a little bit about migration. So steel yourselves. Freedom is coming, oh yes I know. Oh yes I know. Oh yes I know. Freedom is coming, oh yes I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming.
Que no tiene barreras.
That has no borders.
Y así es el amor de Dios.
And that is how wide the love of God is.